Hey, and welcome back to another episode of The Hustle History. And today I have a cracking business to get through, one that I have been following for years and I'm really excited about. It is a hustle that has changed the shape of the world as we know it. One of the founders of this business was born in a small village near Kiev in the Ukraine, and his parents moved to California when he was a kid, looking for more opportunity. As a child growing up in California, he was completely obsessed with computers and spent most of his time learning about the computing industry and building up his skills in the tech space. It's quite unique. This particular side hustle was built while the founders were employed, and just before it had taken off, both founders actually almost quit. They pushed through to create a $19 billion company in only 5 years, which is completely astounding. If you know your hustle history, you will know this guy's name, Jan Koum, and what business he started. But for those of you who don't, let's keep going. If you know already, hit the comment section. So both of these founders met prior to joining Yahoo, but they both worked at Yahoo while they were building their side hustle in the evenings. They were both really excited in 2009 at the idea of starting an iPhone app of some kind. This was 2 years after the iPhone was launched, so it wasn't a particularly new thing at this point to launch an iPhone app. The idea of just building one was really exciting at the time because this was a device like no other. It changed the shape of the world. So they started discussing an app that could display statuses next to people's names. Now that's interesting and doesn't really give you a clue, but this business went on to be more than just statuses. However, the first version of this app was absolutely disastrous. Koum almost quit the business after initial tests and feedback. He even went so far as to start looking for a job when his then co-founder, Acton, actually implored him to keep going and waited out a few months. They were talking to another friend, and that friend suggested that they actually get the help of a real iPhone developer. They both weren't specifically iPhone developers at the time, to sort out the battery issues and the other bugs that users were complaining about. And after chatting with this iPhone developer, a guy apparently from Russia, the app launched as a messaging service officially in 2009, only on the iPhone. Now, just before launch, the company was quite desperate for resources, so to resolve this, Acton and Koum managed to persuade 5 of their friends from Yahoo days to invest $250,000 in seed funding. It was at this time that young Koum brought Acton on as an official co-founder to the business, and he was given a stake in the company. 2 years after launch, it was one of the top 20 apps in the iStore. And this is key. They launched in 2009. By 2011, it wasn't a runaway success, but it was in the top 20 and people were starting to take notice of this app. Shortly after that, one of the biggest venture capital firms in the world, Sequoia Capital, decided to invest money into the company. They invested $8 million, and for that, they got 15% of the startup. Now, 2 years later, the company had around 200 million active users, but only 50 staff members under its employ. Sequoia decided to put in another $50 million, taking the company's valuation to $1.5 billion. But it didn't stop there. Just 3 months after they announced their 400 million users, at the end of 2013, the company's founders sold the business to Facebook for a staggering $19 billion. For its initial investment, Sequoia Capital received an unholy amount of 5,000% return on that initial $8 million. 5,000% return. That is the holy grail of investments. If you haven't figured out by now, the company that I'm talking about is WhatsApp. It's a company that is all over the world and taking a lot of hits right now for its privacy policies. But you know what? We all still use it. We all still love it. We all still send voice notes that are too long. That's it for this week's Hustle History. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and comment below who you would like me to look at in the next episodes. I've had Lots of recommendations. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me which companies you want to get the history on, and we'll get to it. But for now, as always, it's on you to do the work.